Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy English Wins. I'm so glad you're here. In today's explainer lesson, we are analyzing a sudden, monumental shift in United Kingdom leadership as Andy Burnham takes over as Prime Minister. This is going to be incredibly useful for you as English learners because political news is packed with advanced vocabulary, idioms, and unique sentence structures. Mastering this will really help you understand native speakers and follow global events. So grab your notebooks and let's dive right into this historic handover of power. Let's start by looking at our headline, The Circuit Breaker, Andy Burnham's New Era at number 10. I'll say that a bit slower. The Circuit Breaker, Andy Burnham's New Era at number 10. Let's break down these key phrases. First, circuit breaker. Now, literally, a circuit breaker is a safety device in your house that stops electricity if there's too much power. It prevents a fire. But here, it's used as a powerful metaphor. A synonym would be a reset or an emergency stop. For example, the government used a circuit breaker lockdown to stop the virus. Next, we have new era. An era is a long, distinct period of history. It's pronounced E-R-A. You might hear people say the invention of the internet started a new era of communication. Finally, number 10. This is a very common metonymy in British English. When you hear number 10, it simply means 10 Downing Street, the official home and office of the UK Prime Minister, just like how Americans say the White House to mean the US President. Here is our agenda for today's lesson. Section 1, a new Prime Minister. Section 2, the Circuit Breaker Plan. Section 3, how will he pay? Section 4, demands and pressures. And finally, Section 5, the global stage. Let's move straight to Section 1. We need to establish the immediate context of this historic transition of power. Now, what's really fascinating here is the speed of these events. Just 2 years ago, Keir Starmer won a landslide election. Let's look at that phrase, landslide. A literal landslide is when rocks and dirt fall down a mountain. But in politics, a landslide means winning by a huge, overwhelming majority. A common learner mistake is using landslide for a small victory. No, it has to be a massive win. For example, the mayor won the election in a landslide. Fast forward to today, Starmer resigns. And on the exact same day, Andy Burnham arrives at 10 Downing Street to cheering crowds. It's a rapid, dramatic shift in power. Note the present tense used here on the slide. Starmer resigns, Burnham arrives. In English news headlines, we frequently use the simple present tense to talk about very recent past events. It makes the news feel immediate and exciting. Before we look at the new leader, let's look at the outgoing one. The adjective outgoing here means leaving a position or office. Keir Starmer's final sentiment in his London speech was simply, "I go with a smile." It's a very graceful, polite exit. He's setting the stage for his successor without any lingering bitterness or internal party conflict. So the crucial point is how the new Prime Minister defines his vision. As we discussed in our headline breakdown, Andy Burnham calls his plan a circuit breaker for Britain. By using this metaphor on day one, Burnham is signaling to the public that he believes the country's current path is overloaded and failing, and he's stepping in to instantly stop it. He wants a reset with a new political model and a new economic model. It is a highly ambitious way to frame a brand new administration. That brings us perfectly to Section 2, the Circuit Breaker Plan. What exactly does this reset look like? Let's check out his specific domestic promises. This slide brilliantly illustrates his immediate action items or pledges. A pledge is a serious promise. We have 3 major ones here, and they contain some fantastic advanced vocabulary. First, to end rough sleeping. In British English, rough sleeping is a specific term for homelessness where someone is literally sleeping outside on the streets. He actually attempted to end this when he was a regional mayor in Northern England, so it's a deeply personal goal. Second, to reindustrialize Britain via public procurement. Let's break those down. Reindustrialize means to rebuild industries and factories. The prefix re means again. And procurement is an excellent formal business word. It means the process of purchasing goods or services. So he wants the government to use its massive buying power to purchase directly from British factories. Here's an example sentence for you. The company improved its procurement process to save money. He summarized this by promising to bring forward a new 10-year plan for Britain. Now, bring forward is a great phrasal verb. It means to introduce or present something for discussion. A common mistake is just saying bring, but adding forward makes it formal and official. For example, the committee will bring forward a new proposal next week. He's not just talking about quick fixes. He is emphasizing a long-term scope of governance aimed at fundamentally reshaping the country. Let's move to Section 3. An ambitious 10-year plan is wonderful, but it leads us to a crucial question. How will he pay for it? Now, what's really interesting here is the single number, 37%. This is the forecasted tax share of British economic output for this year. Forecasted means predicted for the future, like a weather forecast. This means 37% of all the wealth generated in the UK economy goes to taxes. This is the highest level since 1948, and it's notably higher than major economies like the United States or Japan. Burnham is stepping into a situation where the baseline for taxation is already incredibly heavy. So if he needs more money, where can he get it? Let's impartially walk through the different tax avenues available. This is a great time for a quick vocabulary builder session because this slide is packed with advanced financial terms. First, income and VAT thresholds are frozen. A threshold is the starting level at which something happens. So a tax threshold is the income amount where you begin paying tax. Next, corporation tax. Burnham notes there is £21 billion uncollected, and he wants to shift business rates to out-of-town stores. Capital gains is a highly likely target. Then we see council tax. There are proposals for a potential 0.48% annual levy. A levy is another formal word for a tax or fee. You could say the government imposed a new levy on imported cars. And finally, fuel and alcohol duties, which means taxes on specific items, remain frozen since 2011, mostly to avoid political fallout with voters. Fallout means the negative results of a situation. I challenge you to use threshold or levy in your own sentences today. This slide visually contrasts the current revenue makeup, and it explains a lot about Burnham's philosophy. On the left, income tax brings in 30% of total government revenue. On the right, capital taxes bring in only 5%. Burnham has frequently stated his belief that labor is overtaxed while wealth is undertaxed. Because of this stark contrast, aggressively raising capital taxes seems like a highly likely path for his government. Moving right along to Section 4, Demands and Pressures. On day 1, the inbox of a prime minister is completely overflowing. And this illustrates the incredible balancing act of leadership. Looking at this impartially, we see a massive divergence, meaning a separation into different directions. On the left, we have the Green Party, pushing hard for rent controls, public water, and aggressive wealth taxes. On the right, we have the corporate sector, represented by British Airways. Their CEO is urgently demanding a reduction in aviation taxes so they can stay competitive globally. These are drastically different economic demands, pulling the new prime minister in completely opposite directions right from the start. There is also immediate regional pressure. Scotland's First Minister John Swinney congratulated Burnham but immediately reminded him that taking action on the cost of living must be an absolute priority. This is more than just a polite request. It's a serious political warning, especially considering the ever-present push for Scottish independence.
To keep things grounded, here is a brief, slightly surprising note from the sports world. Everton Football Club, Burnham's hometown team, congratulated him on social media, saying, "A toffee at number 10. Toffee being the traditional nickname for an Everton fan. It's a great reminder that even in the most stressful levels of global politics, local roots and community identity remain a very big part of the story.
Okay, let's dive into our final section, the global stage. A UK prime minister doesn't just manage the country, they are a key player in world affairs. So who did he choose to speak with first? His initial calls were to Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and US President Donald Trump. Burnham assured Zelensky of his 100% resolute support. All right, let's do some reading practice and shadowing. I want you to listen to how I pronounce this word resolute. It means admirably purposeful, determined, and unwavering. Now, I am going to read a sentence at normal speed and then slower. I want you to repeat after me out loud wherever you are. Ready? Normal speed. He offered his resolute support to the country. Now slower for shadowing. Repeat after me. He offered his resolute support to the country. Great job. He wanted to make it absolutely clear to the global community that the UK's financial and military backing of Ukraine has not weakened in the slightest. Furthermore, the incoming messages from European leaders highlight the UK's ongoing geopolitical ties. Leaders from Italy, the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, and Lithuania offered immediate congratulations. What's important here is what they emphasized: maintaining strategic partnerships in areas like trade, energy, and defense. It shows that while domestic policies might be undergoing a circuit breaker reset, rigid continuity is expected abroad. That brings us to our final slide and the big question. Can Burnham's circuit breaker truly fix the cost of living crisis? He has made highly ambitious promises, ending rough sleeping, reindustrializing the nation, and creating a new economic model, all while facing intense tax pressures and conflicting demands. It will be fascinating to watch this 10-year plan unfold. All right, let's review. Today we learned some amazing words like circuit breaker, procurement, resolute, and threshold. For your homework, I want you to write 3 sentences in the comments below using at least 3 of the new vocabulary words we learned today. I checked the comments and I can't wait to read yours. If you found this explainer lesson helpful, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson. Also, let me know in the comments which word was completely new for you today. Don't forget to grab your free vocabulary PDF linked in the description, and I highly suggest watching another explainer from our channel next to keep improving your English. See you in the next lesson. Keep practicing. You can absolutely do it. Bye.